Fire, fire, fire.
All right, why Disney adults are going bankrupt for Disney? Oh man, consumerism has gotten to such a fucking state, it's insane.
Walk around a Disney park today and
boy.
you'd expect to see excited children dragging their parents from ride to ride. Instead, you'll see
Expensive.
adult enthusiasts running everywhere, screaming,
Why are you holding the bread like that, like a baby?
driving around on mobility scooters, documenting
Oh my god.
every inch of their experience on TikTok. These are Disney adults, and here they are in their natural habitat, riding scooters around at just 20 years old because they can't walk, eating
You know what's really freaking sad is that Disney parks are actually like a really good workout for walking around all day, and you just dude, they're gonna have like a designated lane at this point. There's just way too many of them. Yo, Luca, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it.
about 5 desserts in one day to the tune of 10,000 calories, crying at random stuff in the streets. Childless adults now outnumber families at the parks. Some visit
What?
hundreds of times a year. Some even quit their jobs and relocate to Orlando to go every single day.
Oh, I got a TikTok recommended before I uninstalled TikTok one time of a woman talking about how she moved her entire family from California to Florida to live really, really close to the park, which has a designated neighborhood that costs thousands and thousands of dollars more than like a normal neighborhood in Florida, so that they can go to Disney parks every day. I'm not even kidding. I wish I was making it up.
It might just be funny on the surface. It might just seem like some stupid immature people.
Disneyland,
But it all
Япония,
begins to
очень
fall into
много хочу.
place when you realize that Disney is an empire, one that spread its
хочу.
roots further and wider than any other company in history. It's
Yeah.
consumed some of the most
Well, the propaganda's been going on for like... When did Disney start? Like 1920s? Yeah, it's been like 100 years. California has a Disney park. But California doesn't have, I think the reason why she moved is because in Florida, there's like designated, like almost housing residence neighborhoods. Does that make sense? I don't think Cali has that. At least I don't think. Yeah, and it's smaller, I believe, yeah.
beloved franchises in modern culture.
Florida's
Star
the big
Wars,
one.
Marvel,
That's where you
Pixar,
go.
The
That's
Simpsons,
the
Indiana
go-go one.
Jones, and swallowed up media giants like 20th Century Fox, ABC, ESPN, National Geographic, and Hulu, all absorbed into one giant
Ooh, I
corporate
love
ecosystem.
Corpo.
They also operate 12 theme
Yeah.
parks worldwide, a fleet of cruise ships, and an
Wow.
entire planned residential
the
community
poop
in
ship?
Florida. It's combined
See, this, what did you say?
residential community in
Residential community. You have an entire community brainwashed into loving your mega corpo consumeristic lifestyle. Like, I can't imagine. I can't. I already fucking saw people my age with freaking Disney tattoos and shit, and I was like, man, what if you just fucking stop liking it? Why? Like, you have Tinkerbell on your arm? You think that's gonna look good when you're like 75 years old?
Florida. Its combined properties attract over 150 million visitors a year,
Oh
more
my
than
God.
any other major attraction on the planet by an order of magnitude. Even if you don't realize it, you barely go a single day without encountering something Disney owns. The films and programs we stream, the shows that kids everywhere watch in the morning, the merchandise in the shop window, the theme park advert on your feed. And like every empire, Disney has its castles and, most importantly for its survival, its subjects. Because the most valuable thing that Disney owns can't be found on their balance sheet.
What's
Instead,
that?
it's the loyalty of millions of adults who don't just
True.
enjoy Disney, but embrace it with every fiber of their being.
Yeah.
Where Disney has truly
And
become
they're willing to spend 5 times on a pizza because it's shaped like a Mickey Mouse head. It's insane.
their religion. Now, the analogy of Disney adults as the subjects of the empire works so well because this is a fantasy universe manufactured for subservience. And
You know what the real problem is that, like, these people, I imagine they're probably between the ages of, like, 25 to 45, maybe 40. Yeah, like 40. They're all millennials, and it looks like they don't have kids. And he said at the start, now that these people, there's more kids, there's more adults that are going without children than kids going with, families going with kids. Yeah, they are the kids, yeah.
To make anyone subservient to your brand, rich, generally middle-class adults without any religion are usually the holy grail. The overwhelming majority of Disney adults are just white, college-educated North Americans, many of whom spend up to $10,000 a year on just Disney alone.
Bro, I don't spend $10,000 on fucking video games. What the fuck am I doing? On going to the park? Oh my god, I wish what the fuck? Like, that's dedication right there, dude. You don't know! No! Like, not even close! What the fuck?
And a lot of the time, most
like
are spending considerably more.
10 video games a year, maybe.
For 2 days.
About $35,000.
You can easily burn through $1,000 in a single day at the park.
I can see that because the food and the water and all the bullshit that they hand you is so expensive.
Without even doing anything extravagant. A Disney cruise can set you back more than a fortnight in Southeast Asia, and yet for most, it's the only holiday they take. So think about what that really means.
Park requires walking. How are they still fat? They consume 8,000 calories in one day, and then they barely walk. Yeah, they use their mobility scooter, and then they get off the mobility scooter, and then they have the food, and then, yeah.
These are people with the money and freedom to go anywhere in the world, to explore different cultures, try new experiences, and see things that might genuinely challenge or change them. But instead, people just seem to come again and again to the same place, again.
That's what I don't understand either. It's like, it's almost like a self-soothing mechanism, because it's familiar. Like, to me, when my parents went on a vacation, it was like doing something different. Like, we would have like a place we'd go to sometimes that was like we already went there, but most of the time it was like, oh, well, let's go drive over here. That sounds like fun. Do you want to go to this theme park? Okay, that's awesome. Do you want to go to Legoland? Oh, fucking sick. I don't think I've ever been to like a theme park more than like twice, and most of them just one time. That's it.
Again. Not because they've weighed up their options, but because nothing else even occurs to them. Some would even go into huge debt to maintain their Disney addiction.
No, that's sad, dude. Going into debt to go to do your vacation.
Even when their salaries don't stretch far enough to cover it.
So the passes were...
Here we go, we got Caleb. Let's fucking go. I love this guy.
2,000.
Let's go.
For the both of us.
What?
For both of us.
For fucking what? You spent $1,000 on just being at Disney. On here, $1,000 just on the Disney crap.
I mean,
for a day, for 1 day.
Some don't just visit regularly, they restructure their entire lives around proximity to the parks. From there, you can visit every day if you want. And some people
that's what I was talking about. I wish I could go find the TikTok, but it was a woman that moved to Florida just so that her kid, and then she's continuing the cycle to her kids. Like, what if your kids don't fucking like Disney, like, when they grow up? Like, what then? Now they have Disney rooms and Disney everything? Like, oh my god.
Do.
How does visiting nearly 3,000 times sound? Well, that has been done by this man, Jeff Wrights. He started visiting the park every day in 2012.
Think about how the rulers of ancient empires made their money. They owned the land, controlled the culture, and dictated traditions and rituals, and the subjects paid for the privilege. Ooh. Disney has achieved something remarkably similar in our world, and it's getting stronger every single year. Disney adults naturally date other Disney adults through dedicated dating sites, because who else would understand?
I mean, mouse. Okay, hold on. Dude, is there a League of Legends dating site? Is there a World of Warcraft dating site? That, I mean, I kind of get it, but this is so far gone.
Didn't we find a Disney adult dating site?
We did.
It's called Discord. No. Talking about Discord kittens. We're talking about like actual people you want to date.
Shows you that you
Overwatch
can find
lobby?
somebody in this world.
You can get married in front of the castle, you can get married in the haunted mansion, and instead of a traditional tiara, some
Look, if you want to do that, that's fine.
Disney adults choose
It's not
bespoke
that bad.
pieces to get married in.
What? Wait, what? Disney Mickey Mouse ears made out of diamonds for your wedding.
And like these Mickey Mouses made in collaboration with some of the world's most premium
Wow.
brands, like Vera
Wow.
Wang,
Wow.
honeymoons, also Disney, or maybe a Disney cruise. And if you're now thinking this must
I think it's a little weird, but it's not that bad. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Like, some people fucking play WoW and get married on World of Warcraft. I think it's kind of a little bit weird, but who gives a fuck?
be as far as it goes, then you haven't heard of Golden Oak. Golden
What's
Oak
that?
is essentially for the boss level Disney adult. It's the most extreme form of constructing your life around
VIP
Disney. It is a
status?
community within Disney World itself, made up of eye-wateringly expensive mansions that start at around $10 million.
If
Homes
you think that's bad, then you should think every wedding thing is bad. I do think having a Marvel-themed wedding is cringe, but it's not that weird. I just think it's cringe. Is that fair? That's my opinion. If you have a, like, there's like a level to it. If it's like a theme of like, oh, it's a country fucking themed wedding, that's like a different thing. But like, I don't know, like, it's just different.
built to Disney spec with statues and paintings of characters in the gardens and on the walls, floors, and ceilings. So now we have homes, holidays, and relationships all inside the Disney universe. So what's left?
Yes.
Identity itself. Disney doesn't actually allow
They take your thumbprints and then chop them off and replace them with Mickey Mouse fingers.
adults
That's
to wear
what they
full
should do.
costumes to the parks. That's reserved for children, so employees dressed as characters
That's fine. That's totally fine.
remain the only real versions. So Disney bounding
It's so
means
you don't-
dressing to
It's so they don't get confused. That's totally fine. I've seen videos talking about this.
evoke a character without technically being in costume.
Yeah.
Now the word means that these people are bound for Disney, headed that way to evade the costume police, but it portrays a deeper truth. These adults are both bound by Disney, a soft, comfortable cage that poses no challenges, and they are bound to Disney. They eschew individual identity and bolt themselves onto these characters and
Going to the theme park dressed like this is fine. It's when you go outside and you make your entire identity dressed like a Disney character. That's when I think it's insanely cringe. Because what you're doing right now is you're dressing up within the rules of the park. But if you go outside of that and you're like, oh my god, look at my Tinkerbell dress, I'd like look at you sideways and be like, what the fuck, bitch, what?
dead.
Like you're at work dressed in the themes of Tinkerbell. Like I think that's a bit cringe.
And then there's the most disturbing ritual of all,
What?
one that came to light through horrified employees.
What? What is
As
it?
you can see throughout this video, we use a
What
lot
is
of stock
it? What is
footage.
it?
And one thing that never really gets talked
Ah!
about with video creation
I
is
need
just
to
how much
know!
time gets burned
What's the
finding
dark
right
secret?
assets. Not just the editing, but hunting for the footage, the music, the sound effects, graphics, all across different sites. Which is why I'm proud to say this video is sponsored by Storyblocks. We've been using them throughout all of these videos for years, because Storyblocks gives you unlimited downloads of really high quality stock media with
Whoa.
just a simple monthly subscription. There's no per asset fees, no surprise licensing issues, just access to everything in one place. And that
Wow.
includes 4K and HD video,
That's
music,
nice.
sound effects, images, templates, and motion graphics. All created by real artists, not just generic filler content. Which is why the footage actually feels authentic,
Wow.
not like stock you've seen hundreds of times before.
Very
and
nice.
because it's unlimited, you can browse through and collect interesting
Get
footage
rid of
that helps you
ad-
tell
no.
compelling stories, like we've been doing in this video you're watching right now. With Storyblocks, you can try
I watched
different
this for
edits,
free.
test
I will
ideas,
watch the
swap
ad.
music, change pacing
Cry
without
about
ever
it.
worrying that every download costs
You can
extra.
skip it in the
also
YouTube
just
video
saves
if you
you a
want.
ton of time if you make videos. As Storyblocks members save an average of 3.5 hours a week,
That's
especially
a
with
lot.
things like
That's a lot. 3.5 hours a week is a lot of time.
made templates and motion graphics so you can drop straight into Premiere Pro
That's
or After
poggers
Effects.
in the
And
chat.
everything you download from Storyblocks is royalty free
More time to
and
eat
fully
Big Macs.
licensed, so you're protected forever. Which is why if you need unlimited stock media at one set price, head to storyblocks.com/moon or click the link in the description below. Disney adults often choose Disneyland as the final resting place for the remains of their loved ones. Employees have taken to social media to admit that they regularly have to go and clean the ashes of a dead person.
Okay, that's fucked. No. No, no. No, 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 no.
of their loved ones.
No, 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 no.
Employees have taken to social
No. Okay, spreading your ashes in the mountains where you do hike with your mom and dad. That's beautiful. You putting them into the ground. Maybe you pour them into the ocean. Okay, that's like awesome, cool. Like food for the fishes. Putting it in a Disney park. And people have to inhale, like there's people around you and they're like not consenting to this shit. And then some fucking person has to clean that up? What the fuck? What? That is so fucked.
media to admit that they regularly have to go and clean the ashes of a dead person.
One custodian told the Journal the haunted mansion probably has so much human ashes in it that it's not even funny. Now, custodians told the Wall Street Journal that the job requires a special vacuum cleaner, which comes out at least once a month.
Disneyland is now recognized as one of the most popular places on Earth to scatter ashes.
Is that not cult status? That's just Luigi's mansion. Yeah, it's called Boo, Grandma's coming out. Boo! Woo! Special vacuum for once a month? Yeah, because there's so many, I guess. Bro, this is so fucked up. That's
Employees
disgusting.
receive special training on how to clean ashes.
You are so, like, what? You're so dumb for that, too, because it's like, they're gonna clean it up, and then it's just your grandma's ashes on the floor, and then she's just in a vacuum in a box, and then they toss it into the trash.
The company even has a special code word grandma to alert
I'm sorry, I keep pausing the video. There's just more shit that just comes out, and I can't believe this is real. Code grandma.
employees that more ashes need to be cleaned. While it's quite morbid for us to think that these people's ashes are being
Oh my god, it's just a kid that's in gloves.
vacuumed up by a 17-year-old on minimum wage and dumped in a bin with leftover turkey drumsticks.
It's so insulting to grandma, too.
For Disney adults, it's a fitting end to a Disney life.
Yo, chat, you should take me when I die, cremate me, and then go to McDonald's headquarters and sprinkle me there in that McDonald's, because they have a McDonald's in there.
So from birthdays to weddings to death, every stage of life channeled through the same corporation.
The
psychoanalyst Eric Fromm called this automaton conformity. The idea that people escape the anxiety of freedom by adopting pre-packaged identities. You don't have
that's what children do. Yeah, for sure, 100%. I saw cute goth girls and scene kids and emo kids when I was growing up, and my brother had a goth girlfriend at one point, I'm just saying. I was like, damn, I want to be cool like her. Damn, dude, that's so cool.
Have to figure out who you are if someone's already done
You're
it
a kid. You don't know how to be yourself yet.
for you. You don't have to face the terror
really
of
nice,
choice
by the way.
if
She's
the
really
choices
nice.
have already been made. This is exactly what Disney offers, a full identity off of the shelf. Your character, your aesthetic, your community, all handed to you in a gift shop bag.
And you don't
They
have
go
to
so
think,
far as
you don't have to think about it either.
to engineer the physical environment to make
They'll
sure
follow
it
it,
sticks.
maybe
The
someday,
parks
I don't
use
know.
patented scent cannons, called smellitzers, hidden in walls and vents, firing
Oh my god!
specific fragrances at you hundreds of times a day. The olfactory system, meaning your sense of smell, connects
I know exactly what my mom smelled like when I was a kid growing up, because she was the one that smoked the most, but she never smoked in front of anybody, including me and my brother. She would smoke in the bathroom, and whenever I hugged her, she had a very distinct secondhand smell with Coco Chanel No. 5. Sometimes it was other perfume, but most of the time. I know that smell. If I smelled it like right now, I would instantly be able to know that it's my mom. Like, that's how powerful that fucking the sensory connection is to your fucking brain. It's insane.
directly to the brain regions for emotion and memory.
She doesn't smoke anymore,
which
by
is
the way.
exactly why Disney
saying.
invested so heavily in
W.
scent engineering. There are also over 30,000 unique paint colors across the parks, including a shade called Throwaway
Olfactory?
Green, specifically
about
designed to make
olfactories,
infrastructure invisible to guests. The background music in the morning is fast and exciting. Evening music slows down to make you linger and shop.
This is such basic psychology too. They do this with breaking up riots and shit too. Yeah, like manipulating crowds. I mean, not to this extent, obviously, this is a business, but like I'm just saying, it's basic psychology.
The brainwashing extends from the physical environment and parks, which still constitutes the vast majority of Disney's profits, to its...
there was another thing. Don't they like paint? It was another video talking about Disney, but I can't remember what that factoid was. They use very distinct colors to guide people, I think. Not yellow paint, obviously, but... It'll come to me, maybe.
Sprawling digital empire of content and franchises. They started handing each film to...
They do it in casinos, too. Yes, they absolutely do. In casinos, they make everything smell really nice, and they also don't have clocks on the wall, so you don't know how much time you spent. Like, they don't have any clocks. If you ever go to a casino, they don't have clocks on the wall, so that when you, like, get in there, you might look at your phone and stuff, but you just forget.
Different director with a different vision
and no sunlight,
no shared outline. For Star Wars, they spent 2 films building up the villain Snoke, then killed him off with no explanation, and then patched it over with somehow Palpatine returned. A line so lazy, it became a meme as soon as the credits rolled. Then there
somehow Palpatine returned. Buh.
Was the infamous Snow White, which we've made tons of videos on before.
After dying.
Hundreds of millions were spent on a remake where the lead called the original weird and the princess stalker.
With a guy who literally stalks her.
Weird. I've seen this clip so many times, I can actually time it. Holy fuck.
So we didn't do that this time.
Dude, I can time it now.
While the romance was gutted in favor of Gorbos leadership arcs nobody asked for, where the dwarfs were replaced with CGI and it completely bombed and everybody hated it.
Yep.
Completely desecrating the original loved one. There's a pattern across everything Disney touches now, where ideology takes priority over storytelling. We've seen it with the conflicts in politics in Florida with just the parks alone. But also in movies and TV, characters are constantly rewritten to represent something. Where villains have become
twerking Hulk, man.
Straw man.
That's what women do. They twerk and they goof around at work while the men work because fuck men. They're all just so stiff and like we know how to let loose. Shut up! Shut up!
For whatever
I go to work. I don't twerk at work.
Ideological message the writers want to push. The old Disney movies at least told universal stories about love, loss, courage, and fear that could touch everyone. Now even Bob Iger himself had to publicly admit that Disney had been putting, quote, messaging over storytelling, and that he would finally no longer tolerate it. When the CEO of a company is saying that out loud,
it means that he's not making enough money.
You know the rot has gone deep. But Disney adults, as visible and extreme as they are, only represent the most obvious layer. They're the ones who wear their loyalty openly, but many of us contribute too, and often without realizing we're doing it. Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar fans didn't sign up for Disney. Disney just comes for all of us. If you probably watch anything on TV, it's coming for you. When Disney buys these companies, it acquires fandoms. Entire generations of people who had built deep emotional connections to these franchises suddenly found themselves at the company's mercy. And in some cases, the result has been nothing short of vandalism, as we saw with the failed Star Wars movies and series, or the constant Marvel reruns that seem to get worse and worse and worse, let alone all the countless other
They're creatively fucking bankrupt, man. It's what's happening to video games too. I hope they turn it around.
Franchises ruined in the blatant crusade of profit extraction.
Poor fucking Indiana Jones. How old is freaking Harrison Ford now? Like, he's like 80? Harrison Ford, he's like 70, 80. He's 80 fucking 3, man. Just let him fucking chill out. He's really old. And they dug him up. They're like, all right, Harrison, get in there.
Now, you might roll your eyes at a grown woman sobbing over Goofy or Mickey Mouse, but Disney...
I also don't really want to see Harrison Ford, or like, sorry, I shouldn't say Harrison Ford, because like Harrison Ford is his own person, but everyone remembers him as the young, the cool, the courageous fucking Indiana Jones. You seeing that makes a disconnect. Like, why would you want to market him like as an old dude who's like reamed out? Like, I don't know, it just sucks. I don't think that's a good move.
Is an all-consuming beast that might destroy something you love
eventually.
Remember
as a young,
We've mentioned
cool
it many
guy.
times with films like Snow White, as this all tells us the most insidious thing about how the company operates. It isn't purely extrinsic, something bottled onto modern culture from the outside. It's intrinsic to our memories, our feelings, our sense of what safety and happiness mean. A company whose influence has grown inside of us since childhood, and it starts with something most of us completely underestimate. I mean, just think about some iconic Disney moments. Different films, different decades, different characters, characters, but the same feeling. That warmth in your
I
chest.
stopped caring about Disney like when I grew up past like 15 years old, bro. Like I don't understand the Disney adult thing. Like maybe I just transitioned into anime. That's what's my vice, I suppose. But like even I don't fucking go to conventions. I don't get tattoos of like freaking my favorite anime character. Like I feel like there's levels to it. And obviously if you have an anime tattoo, it's like one thing, but like having the whole shebang, that's what Disney adults are. They want everything. It's a whole package system. Yeah, we do anime. Yeah, I guess so.
Somewhere safe and simple. And don't get me wrong, in many cases,
became
there
an
is
anime
great
woman.
cinema
Ah,
with
fuck,
Disney.
it's
The mere
over.
existence of Disney adults doesn't negate everything Disney
Bro is getting fed by Goofy. Nah.
negates everything Disney has ever
I mean, if he's happy, but oh my god, I'm getting such massive secondhand cringe, dude.
done.
I'm
This is a
sorry.
company that captures something universal about childhood. The wonder, the safety, the simplicity, the
Yeah,
beauty, the
nostalgia.
innocence, and put it into words
Yep.
and pictures in a way nobody has ever done before. And that turned out to be the recipe for
Slapper.
insane success. It allowed America's soft power to expand across the world. And there's a word for the feeling Disney films try so hard to create, and it's older and more powerful than most people ever realize. Nostalgia.
Yep.
And it comes from two ancient Greek words, nostos meaning to return home, and algos meaning pain. It was actually coined as a medical diagnosis in the 17th century to describe the crippling homesickness of Swiss soldiers fighting abroad who longed for their homeland so desperately that some became physically ill. Nostalgia isn't happiness, it's
Wow,
closer
I
to a
didn't know it
kind
was
of
that
grief, a
related.
yearning for something you once had or think you
Oh,
had.
nostalgia, Oh, okay. See, if I took Latin, I would know this. I didn't know nostalgia was a Latin word.
That you can
Interesting.
never fully return
Yeah,
to.
nostalgia
And that's what makes
is-
it so commercially potent. If the feeling were wholly satisfying, you'd experience it once and move on. But nostalgia pulls you back again and again because
Yeah.
it never quite delivers what it
It's
promises.
Greek. Okay, even worse. I didn't fucking take Greek or Latin.
Disney enthusiasts are suspended in that nostalgia cycle, and it's highly addictive. We all probably reminisce
What do I
about
know? What do
childhood
I
or when we
know?
were young and nothing mattered, but Disney positioned itself to capitalize on that wistful emotion. Of course, Disney didn't invent nostalgia, but they were the first to understand how essential it is to our human experience. They recognized it as an unresolved need, and if you could make yourself the answer to its calling,
I think what the problem is that I don't see these people with kids taking TikToks. There's only sorry, I have to get this off the screen. Holy shit. I'm getting nauseous. What was I saying? The only TikToks I ever saw were fat middle-aged women that really, really love Disney, and then there's women that wanted to have kids or they have kids and then they want their kids to experience it. And I think when you're trying to experience or trying to pass on the wonderful experience that is Disney, it's not a bad experience, it's fun, right? I think that the people who don't have kids just look way fucking worse because it's like, you're an adult. Like, you at a certain point, you gotta grow up a little bit, you know?
make people dependable. The
I'm
fertile
like crying because you see Goofy. Like, I don't know, man.
ground for this was childhood. That's where
Like,
our
kids
deepest
crying when they
emotional
see
connections
Goofy
are
is
formed.
cute. When
And
it's
for
an
a company
adult
whose
woman,
long-term
it's
survival
cringe.
depended on those connections
Poor
lasting
man.
well beyond
Seen that
childhood,
too.
their work had to start there. So Disney invested enormous resources into
Yes.
understanding how children form emotional bonds.
Yes.
Psychological research into their emotional drivers, how they
Neuromarketing.
interpret symbols, what feels authentic versus manufactured. They used those findings to calibrate their films with specific color palettes.
Yeah, they all do have very specific color palettes. They're all kind of like almost muted.
Certain music intervals and certain narrative beats, all to create maximum emotional renaissance in developing brains. We associate a lot of this work with big tech, but Disney, funnily enough, was there first.
Yeah.
Before the 90s and 2000s, the big commercial problem was still that children's films, even the most successful ones, don't turn a company into a conglomerate. Disney's parks were making the serious money. But while you can hook children in with films while they're young, they aren't the ones with money to spend at the
There's a serious, obvious mental illness that needs to be done. I think more research needs to be done. Again, I don't really like shitting on people's parades because it's like I'm ultimately a fucking anime girl and I became an anime girl because I like anime. But when I take the costume off, which is VTuber, I'm not out there being a fucking VTuber in the real world. Does that make sense? Like, I couldn't imagine living and making my everyday life centered around being an anime girl. That's just something that I just don't understand.
Parks. They needed
Why
to
not?
tap in.
Because I don't have, like, I just don't want to. I don't know. I'm self-conscious. I feel like it's cringe.
Into that adult money. And look at Walt Disney himself
Ooh.
explaining this.
You know, a tail IRL.
Designed for children.
I do low-key with, like, fuck, having a tail is probably kind of cool. Like, you could just push stuff on it. If you're cold, you can, like, if your feet are cold, you can put your tail on your feet. I don't know. Get in the way. Learn how to not get it in the way.
Well, no,
Furry?
you have
Bro,
to feel
it's an extra appendage. It's cool. It's like saying, oh, if you had wings, you're a fucking furry, and that's not cool. It's like, fucking cool. Flying is cool. Shut up.
the adult, or well, the adults have the money. The children don't have any money.
So they had to crack adulthood, and luckily, an early Disney movie, Peter Pan, provided the perfect solution. You have to stop people from growing up. Disney later summed up the strategy in 2 words, age decompression, and it comes into its own in the last 10 to 20 years.
Well, your dad working on his, I don't know, on his car in the garage is age decompression. There's stages to it. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't think it's all bad. It's just when you start incorporating mass consumerism and it becomes your entire identity, I think that's when it becomes too far. You guys have any of your dads, like, bought a bunch of cars and then he just has, like, a bunch of cars out on the, I don't know, like, in the garage or, like, out on the lawn, and then, like, he picks them apart and stuff? Like, that's kind of, like, almost age decompression to them. Kind of. Not cars, but I know what you mean. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, any hobby, and then, like, your mom kind of just deals with it because it's like, I don't know, it's just what he does. I'm European, we don't do that here. You fucking absolutely do. Holy fuck. Everybody fucking does that. Everybody has something. Like, my dad collects freaking little figurines. That's not his entire personality, but it's something he really, really enjoys. He loves collecting these silly little, I don't know what they're called, the freaking Napoleonic era French Revolution little figurines.
We've been sold the idea that adulthood is a rude awakening, and of course it feels like that sometimes. Work, bill, rent, stress, disappointment in friendships, relationships. In this real world, people don't burst into song on the street unless they're intoxicated or are going through some sort of mental crises. Strangers glare at you for making eye contact. You spend your days in cramped flat sheds, walking concrete streets, working in glass offices. Not extraordinary places bursting with color and life. This isn't what you were promised throughout childhood. You're a princess, a prince, a chosen one, just waiting to be discovered. But the problem is that when you treat adults like children long enough, they start to behave like them. The infantilization of culture is now endemic to society.
Well, the other problem is that it's also being all posted all over social media, and it's like, it's almost like it's a positive feedback loop, man.
My safe space. I'm protecting my energy. This is my self-care.
Oh my god. There's a time and a place for this shit, like, but making this in your entire life, like, oh my god, I don't want to answer the phone because, like, I'm in a bad place right now. What? Shut up!
We've built an entire vocabulary around retreating from challenges and wrapped it in the language of mental health, which makes it impossible
and it makes actual mental health, like, really, really fucking cringe to talk about, because then people lump you in with these people. Yeah, like, oh, you have a mental illness? Oh, you must be just like these people. It's like, no.
Question.
No.
If someone says Disney is their safe space, what are you gonna do? Tell them that their feelings are wrong? Attacking their coping mechanism? You'd sound like a monster. And that's the shield. Corporations love this because a customer who believes they need your product for their emotional well-being and life is a customer for life. So what do you do when adult life just does feel too intense? Well, you go back to your safe place. Now we all turn to our favorite form of escapism when we're in a rough patch.
You're watching VTubers is also your safe space. But guess what? You still go out and you're still an adult at the end of the day. You still go get your groceries. You still, like, I don't know, go make a phone call. Like, it's not that fucking big of a deal. That's your happiness right there. I totally get it. I do the same fucking thing.
Some play the video games they
Yeah,
played as
Warhammer,
kids or cook
playing
food they had as
games.
kids. It's okay to escape occasionally. But when manufactured on an empire global corporate level, escaping becomes a trap its subjects willfully live in because the alternative is too frightening. Ever since childhood, they've been made long-term, lifelong consumers. The psychoanalyst Eric Fromm called this automaton conformity, the idea that people escape the anxiety of freedom by adopting pre-packaged identities.
Yep.
You don't have to
Kids
figure
do
out
that.
who you are if someone's already done it for you.
Who
You don't
am
have to
I?
face the terror of choice
You're
if
a
the choices
Disney
have already
adult.
been made. So in this sense, escapism might be the biggest misnomer of the century. People are going to the same place, consuming the same stories, riding the same rides, wearing the same ears year after year.
There's a self-soothing to watching the same thing over and over again. Yeah, there's people who watch the same movie like 20 times.
There's no
I
true
get it.
exploration, just the
Yeah.
illusion of exploration mirrored in a form that feels safe and easy. You might
It's
have heard
easy
of
to
Plato's
predict what's
allegory of
coming.
the cave, which is one of the world's oldest thought experiments. Inside the cave, the prisoners are chained up facing a wall watching shadows flicker in the firelight. They've never been outside to see the real world, and the shadows are all they know. So to them, the shadows are the real world. The important bit is what happens when one prisoner finally gets dragged outside. The sunlight is blinding, the real world is overwhelming, confusing, and just too much to
Overstimulating.
process.
Yes,
you
I'm
might feel
stimming,
like
I'm
this when you're
stimming.
about to start a real adventure. You might step off the train, plane, or bus in an entirely new place and feel anxious yet excited trepidation. It could also be something like starting a new job, going to a new school, or heading to
It's
university
fucking
for the
scary,
first time.
dude.
It's uncomfortable by definition. This
Yeah.
isn't your comfort zone. This is what makes it an adventure, and eventually you become more comfortable. These are the moments where life happens. But when someone feels thrown into the unknown,
or
their
they give it a
first
5.
instinct tends to be that they want to go back. Disney manufactured a fake representation
Well, that's what home is. Like, you go home and you chill the fuck out. Like, that's how it is.
of adventure
people
that
just
keeps
take it way
people
too far.
cocooned inside their cave, and honestly,
The
it's
Goon
kind of evil
Cave.
genius. For the most extreme followers, it made the cave so beautiful, so emotionally optimized, so perfectly calibrated that the real world
The
just could never
metagaming,
compete at all.
yes.
But Plato's point wasn't that the cave is evil, it's that the prisoner who stays there will never know what they're missing. You can't miss a sunset you've never seen, you can't long for depth you've never experienced. The cave doesn't feel like a cage, that's the deeper problem. And this is where this whole video stops being about a story on Disney adults and becomes a story about all of us, because making us feel comfortable with the cave is the dominant strategy behind social media, behind every streaming service, and lately, generative AI. Every app on your
Yes.
phone is designed around the principle to keep
Yeah,
it simple.
generative AI always wants to spew out what's the best for you, because if you're not pleased with the result, you're gonna click away.
Keep
Same
rewarding,
motion,
keep them
same
coming
ocean.
back. Swipe right, swipe left,
Yeah.
like, subscribe, follow.
Algorithm.
Don't make anyone think too hard. Don't make anyone wait. Don't make anyone uncomfortable. Reduce every interaction to its simplest possible form and repeat it infinitely. They create environments where the content is familiar, the rewards are predictable, and the outside world, with all its friction and ambiguity, starts to feel like too much effort. Disney has been pioneering this model for 100 years, targeting psychological engineering at children, building an
Yep.
empire driven by profit extraction at a level that puts people in
What's 100 years? Is that 3 generations or 2? I think it's 3, isn't it? 3.5? Yeah, like you have your grandma that's born in 1920s. Yeah, I think it's 3 generations. Basically 3. Yeah, so like you have your great grandkids that know about Disney, and you can just keep repeating the cycle.
to more depth
you're a
than
granny.
substance abuse, brainwashing you
Generation is
since you're a
20.
child to
Nah, it's
always
30,
stay
I'm
a
pretty sure, isn't
lifelong
it?
Disney consumer. And the greatest trick they played was making the fake world feel like enough, making the fake experience feel like a life. That's what
Oh,
makes
I
the
love
cave feel
shoving
so
my
complete that the
frickin'
prisoners
mouth
never
full of
even think to
food.
look for the door. But don't be fooled into thinking this is some far-flung issue situated inside a theme park in Florida.
No, video games are like this too. That's why there's so many fucking video game companies that get bought out by massive conglomerates, and then they just shit it up because they want to fucking use that corpse that's already dying or it's on its last legs to try and fucking sell you some fucking product.
You might find yourself or someone you know sitting right there with them,
Smelly
watching the
Lana.
shadows
I'm not
dancing
smelly,
on
what
the
the
wall.
fuck, bitch.
And thanks to Storyblocks for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check them out using the link in the description below.
That was fun. I love Corpo Slappa. That's why people keep crawling back to the same video games that they always know. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, how many of you, be honest with me, how many of you have a video game that you always go back to every, I don't know, maybe like not every year, maybe not every 6 months, but you constantly buy new games and you're like, I could just go play like Fallout for the 15th time, or like I'm gonna go play Skyrim for the millionth time, or what the fuck ever. Like, it's the same thing. You go back to it because that's like comforting to you. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should never take the broad take of, oh yeah, like going back to your going back to your childhood roots is bad. It's like, it's not. It's more about Disney and how they fucking absolutely made this into a perfect little tunnel to get you from point A to point B, and the point B being your fucking wallet. I still can't believe people pay money, thousands of dollars, for this fucking tiara thing for your wedding. You're never gonna use this ever again either. It's like crazy to me. Like, even with a wedding dress, like I don't think people should buy wedding dresses. They're so fucking expensive. Just rent one out and then put it back. You're never gonna fucking use it again. Yeah, that was a good video though.
Fire, 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 fire.